Jake Paul revamped his entire training team following his first loss. The YouTuber-turned-boxer was beaten in February, suffering a split decision defeat to Tommy Fury in Saudi Arabia. So for his return bout over the weekend, against Nate Diaz, Paul went back to the drawing board. He parted ways with ex-cruiserweight contender BJ Flores and his co-trainer Danny Smith. And instead Paul hired boxing legend Shane Mosley, his first ever trainer, to come into the camp as an advisor. And Theo Trice Chambers will now act as head coach in the Americans' Puerto Rico base camp. Paul, 26, has also worked with some top-flight sparring partners, including 8-0 middleweight Joshua Pagan, 23. And Pagan, whose promoter Dimitri Salita put him in touch with Paul's team, gave an insight into the training camp. He told Sunsport, "This camp was really great. We trained at 10 a.m. every day, followed by strength and conditioning later in the day. It was pretty similar to what a day in my camp is like." Jake's work ethic and willingness to learn is what impressed me about him. He comes into the gym focused and ready to work. And I respect that because that is how I am when it is time to work. Pagan and his father had initially expressed interest in working with Paul's coach Chambers. So Salita then made it known, and before long the prospect flew out to sunny Puerto Rico for sparring. Paul prepares to face his fourth ex-UFC star. Having beaten Ben Askren, 39, Tyron Woodley, 41, and Anderson Silva, 48. And Pagan expects a similar result, as he said, "My prediction for the Nate Diaz fight is a unanimous decision for Jake. I think Jake just has too many tools in his arsenal. And what he is learning in this camp is going to pay off and show come fight night." Paul snubbed a rematch with Fury, 24, to instead face Diaz, 38, but Pagan has urged him to go back in for the sequel right after. He said, "Jake should definitely have the rematch with Tommy Fury after this fight. I feel like he will win this time around due to his changes in camp and preparation." Boxing Glove Jake Paul vs Nate Diaz, UK start time, stream TV channel, details for huge Texas fight. Boxing Glove.